Hey, SR Mori here for Mistwood Publishing, and today I wanted to talk about some of the news with the new Batman movie. So before we get into it, if you could please like this video and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to build an audience for my book that's coming out this spring, and so I'm talking about a variety of topics and news to try to, raise awareness of my existence. And so sharing, subscribing, liking, all of it's great, and I would very greatly appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get into this thing. Indiegogo link to my book will also be in the description. If you sign up now, you get a free bookmark if you actually end up ordering in the spring. But anyway, for real now, let's get into the real stuff here. To the real stuff. All right, so Batman news. Alright. So, Batman movie news. There are a few set photos that have come out that, we should talk about. First is this one of Robert Pattinson, or at least what we assume is Robert Pattinson, who was cast as Batman, if you don't know, on a motorcycle. Kind of a retro-y motorcycle. And people are comparing it to the comic book image that you see on the right, which is from Scott Snyder's run. When the Riddler takes over Gotham, and it kind of becomes like this jungle being held hostage from the Riddler until somebody answers his riddle correct, Riddler stuff. And Riddler is one of the main villains in this movie. But however, I would not look too deeply into this. Really, the only similarity is that he's on a motorcycle and that the backpack is kind of similar. I think that's really the only similarity. I think my guess is he's probably doing some kind of a reconnaissance investigation out there with his backpack. I don't think that we're going to have a 0-year storyline at all. I think that I'm sure the backpack is some kind of homage to this, but I wouldn't think of it any more than that. But it is kind of nice to see Pattinson, first look of him, or a stunt double on the way it looks kind of like him. Filming has begun, right? The next image that people are talking about is the image you see here in the middle of Colin Farrell as the Penguin on set. They got a picture of him. The image on the right is a fan art piece of what Colin Farrell might look like as the Penguin. And I gotta say, I like it. The Penguin has never been a character that I've been super interested in. He kind of grosses me out, and I think that's kind of part of the point. But I think that this more classy version, thinner version of the Penguin, hopefully he still has like the beakish nose. But that interests me. Like the Penguin in the Gotham show, he interests me. And so, seeing this more almost Gotham-esque vision of the character, it does excite me more than if we got like another Danny DeVito look at it. And that's another thing, is the Danny DeVito Penguin, it's already been done perfectly with Danny DeVito, so there's really no purpose in rehashing what's already been done. And I think that's true with a lot of this movie. Now, I put the comic issue on the left there because it is rumored that the Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, will be the mayor of Gotham. And we don't know if that's true, but it certainly could be. But here on the set photo we have Colin Farrell, which is unmistakably him, with the signature Penguin umbrella. And I gotta say, I think this casting choice is much better than Jonah Hill or Seth Rogen or some of the other people they were looking to have play the character. Whenever they were casting some of those more comedian-ish people, it made me very worried for the tone that this movie was going for, along with some of the other things that the director was saying about what he was hoping with the Batsuit. It was really starting to worry me, but seeing the set photo, seeing the Penguin like this, it gives me hope. I think that the Penguin is much more interesting in Gotham than he is in any other media, aka Danny DeVito iteration. The Danny DeVito one is just kind of gross, and it's good for what it is, but it's already been done perfectly, so let's have a different Penguin. And I think that this is going to be awesome. especially if he's the mayor as he is in some of the comic books, and maybe he'll tie into some of the corruption with Carmine Falcone or different things. Another image that is seen on the set is everyone's saying that this is a cathedral set, and I don't really know how this looks like a cathedral, but I'll take your word for it. We'll go ahead and say it's a cathedral. But what really makes this interesting is the blimps. Alright, and they don't look like they're super high budget, but it's really just to have something up in the background so that the CGI artist can tell the lighting and all of that stuff. So the blimps is significant because the director Matt Reeves has said multiple times he's going for more of a Batman the Animated Series tone, but the Batman the Animated Series had all these blimps in the air all the time, and it just kind of created this gothic, gritty environment that was very unique, which there are a few set photos that I did not put on here because they're just ones of cop cars and things, and a news station van. And there's really not anything too super interesting about that, but it does kind of show us that there's probably like an early 2000s-ish vibe, but the director has said that he's not really going for any particular timeline. He's kind of mixing it between several things, and I think that that's a good idea. And then down here on the right we have Jeffrey Wright, and he's playing Commissioner Gordon. And I think that that honestly is a really good casting decision. I honestly believe that the best Gordon that you could possibly get has already been done. Right? The classic looking Gordon, it's already been done perfectly. There's the Dark Knight trilogy. That Gordon is just absolutely perfect. You can't beat. I'm blanking on the actor's name, which is sad because I love that actor, but Gary Oldman. He just does a perfect job, but I think that Jeffrey Wright is gonna, because normally I'm not for race bending, but I think that Jeffrey Wright is just gonna make an awesome Commissioner Gordon. I think he's gonna bring things to the character that weren't otherwise there. So I want to look at the rest of the cast and then come back to this. Right, Batman cast. So we have Robert Pattinson as Batman. We have Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how I feel about this casting because I haven't really seen her in anything, and she just doesn't really look like Catwoman to me. And I don't feel like we've really had like an honest comic book Catwoman with the darker hair. I mean, Anne Hathaway was good, but it just didn't feel like Catwoman to me. But anyway, you know, I think if they don't go with the pixie cut, which I know Catwoman has a pixie cut, I just really don't like pixie cuts. If they go with actual long hair, I think that she could make a good Catwoman. You know, with a lot of these casting choices, I'm just kind of gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because there's a lot of very interesting casting choices. Paul Dano as the Riddler I think is absolutely amazing. I think he looks like the Riddler. Saw him in Prisoners. I think he'll fit the character very well. I already said Jeffrey Wright is going to make an awesome Commissioner Gordon. Andy Serkis, aka Smeagol, as Alfred. I don't know how I feel about that. He's a very talented actor, but he usually plays very weird characters, and I don't know how that is going to work out. But you know what, again, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He is British. He does have a kicking accent. If he keeps some of the scruff, we have a little bit of a scruffy Alfred maybe. I think that he looks better with a little bit of scruff than he does shaved. When he's shaved, I just think of Smeagol. But you know what? Again, I'll give the man the benefit of the doubt. He's a very talented actor, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, just like Zoe Kravitz. Now, the only actor that I'm really just like, what in the world are you thinking of, is John, however you say his last name. And it might just be that, you know, the only thing I've seen him in is the Transformers movies, and a few other like small clips of things he's been in. And, you know, maybe that's my problem because I haven't seen him in anything else than that, but from the impression I got is he's just obnoxious, and I absolutely hated his character in Transformers. He just seems like he can't act in a serious role very well. Like, he's just goofy, and I don't think that that works for the father of the crime families of Gotham, Carmine Falcone. So if you remember in Batman Begins, the guy that points the gun at Bruce in the bar because Bruce goes to talk to him, and he's the guy that's in charge of all of the mob, right? That's who this guy is supposed to be. And I don't know. I just don't see it. But that's me. These are the castings, the general cast. There are more casts, but, you know, like Barbara Gordon, Commissioner Gordon's daughter. But this is generally the ones that are really officially announced and solid, set in stone. And I think that it's doing pretty good. If you don't know already, they're using the Long Halloween comic book storyline as inspiration, and they're going for more of a noir, like, detective. You know, Batman really is the world's greatest detective, and so they're kind of going for more of that with this movie, and I think that that's a really good idea, and I think that's awesome. Now, as far as Batsuits, they have said what they're trying to go for, and I have here a selection of previous Batsuits. And I have to say, I know a lot of people like the Michael Keaton Batman suit, but I don't know. Even as a kid, I felt he looked very goony, and he really can't turn his neck at all. He just looks kind of goony, you know. Michael Keaton was a great Bruce Wayne, but he's just too small to be Batman, in my opinion. And people might hate me for that, but that's... I know, your nostalgia is going to make you love him, but if you watch those movies again, and you get rid of the nostalgia. And then we have the Bat Nipples, which is a big no-no. And we won't even talk about Val Kilmer, which I believe also had Bat Nipples. Now, the Bale suits, I actually really like the Batman Begins Batsuit quite a bit. I do like the Dark Knight suit, but I get the whole moving your neck thing, but it just made him look very goony and very like a chicken neck. I don't know, it just, yeah, you can turn your head and everything, but it just didn't look that good to me. It didn't look bad, it just didn't look as good as maybe some others. And his pants always weirded me out, like, it's clearly like some kind of rubber, you know. Thank goodness, hopefully we don't have any close-ups of people putting on bat suits with bat nipples on their butts and all that. I really hope that's not the kind of tone that they're going for. But in my opinion, the best bat suit we've ever had is the Ben Affleck bat suit by far. The fact that they were going for the more gritty, you know, Batman that kills, you know, the Dark Knight Returns Batman, that they kind of stuck with a Batman Returns kind of bat suit, and it's beefy and it's strong and it's intimidating. And it has the gray, and it doesn't have the dorky underpants. I think that this is the best Batsuit that there is. Some people are like, he looks fat in it. I'm like, psh, you wish you looked like that. Good Lord. I mean, he looks freaking awesome. You see that guy coming at you about to punch you in the face, you're going to pee yourself. You know? This Batsuit is amazing. And I really wish we could have seen more of Ben Affleck's Batman before they idiots and their hatred, their thought out hatred of those movies led to his leaving of the cowl. People are stupid. They get offended because, I don't know. A lot of people, those of you that were hating on Zack Snyder, you're the reason why Ben Affleck's not Batman. So, congratulations on ruining that. This is the suit, however, that is rumored to be the inspiration for the Robert Pattinson Batman suit. It's from Batman Noel and Batman Damned. Batman Noel is really good. I honestly couldn't tell you what Batman Damned, even what the heck was going on. It was very confusing. But I like the suit. I like the suit a lot. And if they take inspiration from this and it works for Robert Pattinson, then I think we're looking at something really good. There were rumors that they were going to be taking inspiration from the 1960s Batman costume, like Adam West, and modernizing it. And that really worried me. That really worried me. But apparently, maybe it didn't look as well as they thought it would, or they couldn't get it to look serious. And so they're not really going with that. But I would argue that if you look up here at Batman's face, especially the eyes, it does actually kind of look like the Batman 1960s, but a more modern, tactical version. And I'm very happy that they're sticking with the short ears. And I would love it if the Batsuit was inspired by this. I think that would be awesome. I think that's everything I have. Yeah. So anyway, that's all of the news that we have so far on the Batman movie. A lot of news, a lot of pictures is going to keep on coming, and I'll keep covering the news because I think this movie is going to be awesome. It's the first Batman movie that is centered on being a detective story. It's following my favorite comic book storyline, The Long Halloween. I think Robert Pattinson is a very talented actor. I think that you should not judge him for Twilight. After all, nobody hates Twilight more than Robert Pattinson. Seriously, Google it. The man hates Twilight. So I think this movie's going to be good. If they have the Batman Noel suit, they have Colin Farrell's Penguin looking as dapper as he does. I'm sure Andy Serkis and Zoe Kravitz will rock it, and I'm very confident that Robert Pattinson will rock it. It's just a matter of whether or not he can bulk up. He's got a pretty thin frame. We'll see if he can bring us an intimidating detective Batman with a very compelling story where it is a true mystery, a true detective story. I really hope that's what we're going to get, and I think that we are. And I miss Ben Affleck as well. I would have loved to see his movie. Anyway, but that's all I have for today. Again, please like if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't, and have a lovely week. Have a lovely day. Peace out.